Dr. Malik Burnett is with us, a doctor as in medical doctor, MD. He's the policy manager for the Office of National Affairs, the Drug Policy Alliance. Drugpolicy.org is the website. And Dr. Burnett, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
It is a pleasure and an honor to have you with us. So D.C., pot is legal in D.C. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so last Thursday, Initiative 71, which was a voter-approved initiative, 70% of district residents voted on November 4th. It legalizes the personal possession of up to 2 ounces of marijuana for individuals over the age of 21 and allows them to grow 6 plants in their home. It largely was run under the issue of ending marijuana prohibition due to the fact that the district has probably the most egregious enforcement of marijuana laws. You're 8 times more likely as an African American to be arrested for marijuana possession in the district, in spite of the fact that marijuana use is equal across race. And so,
well, in fact, actually, with a lot of drugs, there's more abuse among white people than people of color.
That is correct.
Particularly cocaine and things.
Yeah. So, it was largely a effort around the first in the country focused squarely around the issue of racial justice. And, the issue of racial justice is intimately linked to the marijuana legalization movement.
Isn't it fascinating how little of that conversation has bled out into the public, into the mass media? Do you think that's because the private prison industry and the police industry and the incarceration industry and everything are just so pervasive and so powerful that our corporate media doesn't want to take them on?
I think that could play a significant role. What I'm always fascinated by is that everyone, when we're talking about the issue of marijuana legalization, talks about the kids and what is the message that we're sending to kids. And I always respond by saying, what is it the message that we're sending to kids when we can use marijuana as a gateway to the criminal justice system? We incarcerate the most people in the world in the United States, and largely some people who are supporting prohibition of marijuana say marijuana is a gateway drug. This has been soundly debunked by the Institute of Medicine. But what it is it's a gateway to the criminal justice system. People use marijuana as the pretext for stops, and they use marijuana as a way to find other crimes that they can find longer jail sentences for and end up putting people in federal prison.
Right. And thus we have 4% of the world's population and 25% of the world's prisoners.
That's correct.
And about half of them are there for things that have to do with drugs.
That's correct.
That's mind-boggling.
Yeah, it is incredible.
It's just mind-boggling. So we're taking a step in the right direction here in the district. What are the what's the latest science about marijuana? I know people who claim that pot will prevent cancer. Mm-hmm. Tommy Chong is famously taking pot oil to treat prostate cancer, and now he's saying, "Hey, I'm cancer-free" or something like that. I mean, I've read about these oils, and I forget the guy's name, Dr. somebody or other's oil, and all this stuff.
Right.
Is that hyperbole?
No, there it is. While it is very difficult to conduct research here in the United States around marijuana, there is a robust array of research from international locales. Israel is a prominent leader in the world around cannabis research. There has definitely been promising research that shows that cancer is anti-neoplastic, meaning it has cancer-fighting properties. There's been lots of anecdotal evidence of people using cannabis for combating cancer and remaining cancer-free. It also, as you know, is widely known here in the United States in a medical capacity in helping to treat epilepsy and Dravet syndrome, which is a condition that children have where they have hundreds of seizures a day. And, once they get on cannabidiol, which is CBD, they're likely to see their seizure incidence decrease to, 1 to 2 a week, if not less.
Which is better than you would have gotten with old-fashioned things like phenobarbital that can kill you.
Right. All those drugs have an incredible side effect profile. Not only are you likely to have some things like agranulocytosis, which is a disease condition where you basically lose all of your blood cells or white blood cells, and it makes you incredibly difficult to combat infection. But you have all the associated side effects of incredible drowsiness, incredible disorientation, and you don't really have that sort of a harsh side effect profile with cannabis, and that's why people are strongly gravitating towards it as an alternative therapy.
That's remarkable. And in fact, I recall, it was just a few weeks ago, I read it on the air. There was a study of long-term pot smokers.
Right.
And the question was, does long-term smoking of pot. These were not vaporizers or
Right.
inhalers or tinctures or whatever. Does long-term smoking cause an increase in the lung cancer rate?
Right.
And what they found was there was a 20-year longitudinal study.
Yep.
People who had smoked pot daily for more than 20 years actually had a lower lung cancer incident than people who don't smoke at all.
That's correct.
And apparently that's because pot actually has an anti-cancer effect.
That is correct. It is very interesting that you bring up that story. So that study was originally sanctioned by National Institutes of Drug Abuse under trying to find the exact opposite effect that chronic
They were looking
use
for
of
the bad
marijuana
news.
exactly it causes increased incidence of cancer in people who use marijuana on a regular basis. But what ended up happening is that the study author, after many years of research, could not conclude that. And so naturally, being the scientist and, staying true to the science that he is, he just came out and said that this has, been disproven. Like, we've looked at this for 20 years and we can't find data that supports our original hypothesis. So, we're going to say the opposite.
Astonishing. So physiologically, I've also seen studies that imply, I don't know that everything. I think that everything that's been done in this is epidemiological, but maybe I'm wrong. You would know that pot actually also for older people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, that pot slows the rate of dementia and acts as a neuroprotectant against things like Alzheimer's. Is that an exaggeration?
No, it is very funny that you mentioned that. This is a great opportunity to highlight the incredible incongruence in U.S. policy on this. So, as your listeners know, cannabis is considered a Schedule I drug, meaning it has no accepted medical value and high potential for abuse. While at the same time, the United States owns a patent on cannabinoids as neuroprotectants. So the United States is the sole owner of the.
And that patent was from the 90s.
Yeah, that patent was filed.
Recent.
Yeah, filed in the I think it was in the late 80s, early 90s, around that time frame. But it is they essentially own all the rights to cannabinoids as medicines. The United States government does, and yet and still they claim that cannabis has no medical value. But we are seeing some daylight. U.S. Surgeon General came out a couple weeks back and said that they are now having preliminary results around medical benefits of cannabis, and so we're seeing D.C. legalized, which has national implications certainly for policy reform. So we're moving slowly but surely in the right direction on this.
And it seems if you're looking at pot as a medicine,
right?
And I've shared my experience on the air. It's a great sleeping pill too if you get the right kind.
Sure.
When we were out in Washington State, if you're using it therapeutically, the biggest danger is getting pot that's contaminated with pesticides or herbicides or some other psychoactive chemical, which means that the biggest danger about pot right now is where it's illegal, where you have to deal with criminals to get it.
Right. No, I think that's a very salient point that you make. It is largely one we make when we work on trying to end marijuana prohibition in various jurisdictions. Fundamentally, it's about controlling and understanding where the supply is coming from, taking it out of the hands of the criminal element, which has no incentive to adhere to good manufacturing practices, proper care, avoiding the pesticides, the funguses, all of those sort of negative things. And then not only that, they have no incentive to check IDs. So all the people who are making arguments about, the messages to kids, well, drug dealers certainly don't check IDs. So it's actually, we've seen in Colorado a decrease in usage of marijuana amongst individuals less than 21 years old.